I think you're wonderful.
Oh, redo that.
I think you're wonderful.
Really?
I do.
What specifically?
Well, you're just a genius when it comes to about pages. I'm pointing out all the shortcomings of me, but I don't take it personally.
You know why we're doing this, guys?
Click, click, click. Get that testimonial on your About Me page.
And you know what it is? It's we did another episode way back on testimonials, but something happened to me with a client, and it made me think about this recently. And that is that when you're working with a client, you know, we were saying when you're doing an event and you're teaching or you're speaking, you know you need to get video and you know you need to get photos.
And everybody forgets.
Yes.
Especially the testimonials. And get it in the moment because you've got them captured. They're there. They're excited.
Yeah.
I've got somebody on videos who said she went from sales fear to sales fun. It's like, So it's not just me saying it. That's my social proof.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's the sort of tip of the iceberg of this. But the deeper piece that I want to get to is the juicy specifics. So I'm working with this client and she's amazing. I'm working on her book with her, you know, as her developmental editor and whatnot. And now we're going through all the chapters, chapter by chapter. And so we're really deep in it. And she gave me some amazing feedback. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is so specific. It's the specificity because this is what's going to help people who are considering working with you. It's not just that, oh, they were great and so on, and that's fantastic, but they want to know more than just the experience of working with you. Because if you've watched any of these or you know me, I'm always saying what they care about is can you deliver and would you be great to work with? And can you deliver is what happens when they give you those real specifics. And
because the difference is, and being a bit of a cynic, is that the feedback I was talking to you about is kind of what we call happy sheets, right? It's in the moment, they're caught up. And what I'd like to do is go 6 months later, go, hey, did you actually ever implement any of those sales? Yeah, because because they're happy sheets. They're happy, you know, take them with a grain of salt. Well, the kind of testimonial she's talking about is the real meat. It's the beef. It's the beef. It's the big whopper.
It is.
There's no whopping going on though.
No, very whopping.
It's all the truth.
But the thing,
it's true. But it's really, like you say, you like to go deep, and that's a deep testimonial of you working together after how many months?
Several months.
Several months. Yeah. So that's a true testimonial of you working together. In which, what did she actually say about you?
Well, we were
just curious.
Well, one of the things, and this is what's interesting, as a book editor, which is, you know, something else that I do, it requires two things. And the one is being very particular about, you know, all of the sort of edit stuff. You know, we're not at the stage yet in the book of doing the copy editing.
But somebody's got to do details. Yeah.
To say to her, you know, you were talking about this and then you talked about that, like I did with your about page, you know, and this needs to come in here. But it's the other half. You know, it's that she was talking about the balance between that and the fact that what I also do is I bring this empathetic aspect to it. So I'm kind of tuning into her. Yeah. And she was saying that she often will find she disagrees with people if they're telling her, you know, do this or this is their feedback. And she said, I agree with everything you say. And I'm not somebody who does that.
Yeah.
And what she loves is just the way that through the process, I'm picking up on nuances and subtleties, and
you show that you really get her, and that's so important that you get her, and that's why you're agreeing. It's not because she's a pushover; it's just that you really get her, and you're saying this is how I see it, but in your expertise, and you're helping her articulate her true essence.
Well,
I guess.
this is, I was just going to say, Patti, this is exactly it, because another thing I always talk about is voice. And as a writer, if you're doing a book, it is your voice, right? And a good editor will honor that and do everything to make sure that voice comes out really strongly. And what you don't want to do is obviously the opposite and just say, this is what you have to say because it'll make a better book. I mean, that's fire that editor.
No.
So yeah, it was very specific about that balance. But the thing is, it's not just that it's deep, but you get their words.
Their words, yeah. So the one thing that I guess a lot of people, if you're a coach or a trainer or you do online coaching or consulting, is, you know, I tape all my calls with my clients and I send them, you know, links to that. Well, you've got them on tape. You can edit it and say, hey, do you mind if I use this?
That's true too.
You
And
know?
what I was thinking earlier before we were doing this episode, I said to Patti, it's really good because normally, for book editing, I will send somebody the video that we've just done working on a chapter, say. But the other thing is you don't normally listen to them yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting there and you're tuning in, then you're thinking, I want to, and you want to listen to it yourself.
You can
later.
actually make a note of what time, where in the tape
and
it
you
is.
get the exact wording so that later in the process when you're getting the testimonial, you can say, you said this and this and this. And it helps take that client back to that moment because they're not going to remember all those little nuances necessarily, but there's amazing stuff in there.
Right.
So if you're doing a recording.
So again, when you're asking for a referral from that client, remember all these little nuggets of why you enjoyed working with me. Who else do you know? So
exactly.
It can work. That's what testimonials are all about.
Oh, absolutely. In the end, for sure. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to say in this episode was that in the moment, that's when you want to get it. If you do record stuff, great. Otherwise, write it down. Ask them even to stop for a moment. Say, can I just take a moment and write it down while you're doing it? They don't know what you're writing down. And make sure you get it and keep it in that file, however you keep their material. And then later use that and remind them because they may even use exactly that because that's... It's deep, it's specific, and it's in their voice. It's really, really real.
Yeah.
And so you need to grab it in the moment.
Yeah. So, good.
See
More
you next
testimonials, the best. The better it is.
Get
it in writing, get it on video, get it any way you can.
And get it live when it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
See you soon.
Bye.
Ciao.